Hello everybody, what's going on? Lucas here talking. Today I have received an email about the people who are asking me to say about the bodybuilding training and the MMA training. So let's start with the two things training, right? So the bodybuilding training, it's very different for MMA training. First of all, in the bodybuilding training, you're going to work your muscles to give aesthetic things, right? You're gonna show to the judge how well-rounded you are, in how shape you are, if you have very high definition on your body, if you have volume, a great body with volume muscular, you got big rounded, if you are well-rounded muscles. So first of all, the bodybuilding training, you are going to show to the judge of how well are your muscularity, how well are you developed physically, right? So you're gonna show to the judge how well rounded are your biceps, are your triceps, are your chest, are your abs. You have some positions to do, like the double biceps, like the back double biceps, the abs, the widespread. We got all these positions because you're gonna show to the judges how well are your muscle. You're gonna flex. You're gonna see the symmetry. The judges are going to see the definition, the harmonic muscularity they're going to show. And the MMA training, it's very different because you're not going to step on the ring or step on the octagon and then show to the judge your muscle. They're not going to judge about this. You got just simple two objectives or just three. You gotta, first of all, you're gonna win no matter what. you know the second task, or in the third one, you're going to knock out the guy or just to submit the guy. So MMA, it's like the mission martial arts is going to, you have to train for boxing, for Muay Thai, for Jiu-Jitsu, for submission, for wrestling, and another grappling martial arts. So the main difference about bodybuilding and the MMA, the bodybuilding, you just have to be, you just have to show how muscular you are. And the MMA, it doesn't matter how well rounded you are, if you got definition or not. They're going to judge how well are you aggressive, how well are your takedowns, how well are you going to do in the fight, if you can really defend the takedowns, if you do well takedowns, and this kind of stuff. So when when you are going to when you are going to train for bodybuilding, you know, and for MMA, sometimes you got some, the MMA, which now it's the most sport are growing up to the whole world. you know some people, and especially the athletes, they do some bodybuilding training. So the bodybuilding training, like, they do bench press, they do deadliftings, they do squats too. They sometimes they work their high repetitions, like 12 repetitions, like 3 sets, 4 sets. And they work in circuits too. So the MMA training come from the bodybuilding training. But the bodybuilding training, sometimes it's not well fitted on the MMA. Because you're not going, to do a bicep curl, and then, gonna show to the judge your biceps. Do a back double biceps. You're not going to do that on the ring, right? Or even the octagon. So what you're going to do for training for MMA, first of all, we got to know that MMA is both anaerobic and aerobic. You have to train for both. you know. You have to do sparring, you know. You have to do jump ropes, you have to do high intensity training, like circuit trainings that you can build up an aerobic endurance, you know. You have to work sometimes, you have to work with weights too, you have to work with powerlifting training too, to increase your power, you know, because sometimes when you're gonna take some takedowns and you're going to roll and then see your opponent, you're going to push or pull your opponent just to avoid some takedowns, you know. So that's totally different the MMA training for bodybuilding training, you know. But you can do both, you know. But you're not going, if you're going to be an MMA person, if you want to train for MMA, of course you have to do MMA training first. And if you're going to do the bodybuilding, you have to do bodybuilding first, you know. You don't have any secret about this, you know. So you just have to adapt your routine training to both of them, you know. The MMA training, especially what you are going to work is the body weight exercise, you know. You have to work especially the ground too. There's a lot of submissions, lot of grappling, you know, um, lot of fighting techniques too, like boxing, Muay Thai, because you have to be good on the ground and when you are fighting up, you know, when you fight stand with another person. So that's the main difference, because bodybuilding you are just going to enter in the show, you know, just do some do some positions that they talk, the judges are going to call you and call the people, the numbers, you know. And sometimes you have to do some different choreography sometimes according to the music, but you know, bodybuilding training doesn't it's not too intensive as MMA fighting, you know, because MMA fighting you have to every time defend some takedowns, have to defend every time some punches, some kicks, some knees, you know. If you don't if you don't train grappling, don't train sparring, you will get your ass kicked, you know. So bodybuilding training is just like a beach body, you know. I'm not gonna tell you that, oh no, bodybuilding is a shit or you know. I love so much bodybuilding, you know. Sometimes even my training consists on bodybuilding training, you know. And as I'm doing now for MMA fighting, you know, I both train for bodybuilding and for MMA, and they have good results too, you know, because when you are on weight training, especially the bodybuilding training, you're going to increase your flexibility, you're going to increase your speed, and the most important, if you don't have any muscle, you are not going to absorb some impacts, you know, the impacts of kicks, the impacts of of punches, of elbows, you know. You if you want to be an MMA fighter, you have to work very hard and sparring every single day, you know. You have to spare every single training, you have to spare a lot with very high experienced guys too, you know. And the bodybuilding training just have to need a partner, a belt, you know, and straps and some weights, just to weight and this just go into the failure, right? So there's not much difference about this, you know. You just have to do about it. So the main doubt of the person that sent the email is, if you are going to work for MMA, you have to just do all of this. You have to do grappling training, you have to do the fighting technique training, and you have to do aerobic training, like you have to do treadmills, you have to do some bicycles too, you know, or just go swimming. That's a very good exercise aerobic someplace that will not gonna hurt your joints, because sometimes MMA hurt a lot of the joints, because it's not especially the punch or kicks are you taking, but it's sometimes can overtrain your joints too. You know, you have to do the bodybuilding training too. You have to do the powerlifting training too. And the bodybuilding, you can just do like you can just do the right thing, right? 3 4 sets. You are going to work like 5 times a week or 6 times a week, and you're going to split the training, right? You have to know how muscularity are you working for. And in MMA, you have just to know that you are going to fight, and even this fight, you're going to mimic this fight all the time. So just do the functional training that is totally going to the MMA. You know, if you know that your opponent is going to fight is very good on the punch and the kicks, like you have to train the punch, you have to train for the kicks. If the opponent's good for the submission or the jiu-jitsu, or if he used too much, you have to do this. You just have to train for this, right? So there's just no secrets, you know. You just have to listen to your body. Don't train too much, like don't pass like 2 or 3 hours training, because after this you are going to overtraining a lot, you know. And that's it. Keep a good nutrition plan. Just take the supplements and first in rest. And there's no secret about this. Okay? Any doubt? I I'm going to talk a lot of more in these videos. So that's it, guys. Like so much. If you got any questions about this, just write down that I can answer, or if you want to do some videos, I will do it. Okay? Thanks a lot. Bye bye.